So I'm so happy to be here with you today. And we have the most fantastic recording of Ernest Holmes called Your Invisible Guest. And so I'm very excited about sharing that with you today. Um, let's start out with an invocation. And if we can just be quiet and just settle in and just begin this hour with that space of love, that space of knowing that this is such a blessing to be here, to be sharing, to be heard, and to hear. What a great, great time this is. And to know too that each and every person here is a unique individual. And this opportunity to hear Ernest Holmes' voice and just hear him speak into this space is such a thrill and a treat for each of us. And so for this and so much more, we are grateful. And so it is.
So it is. So it is.
Hello, everyone. Just so
Hi.
glad to see your happy faces. Um, what a great day this is. And I tell you what, as I was beginning um, to listen to this audio, I thought, boy, those times come when it comes at you, the subject matter comes at you at different angles. Well, that's what was happening with me with this conversation of this invisible guest. And I'm going to put up this book that I've been studying. It's called Your Invisible Power by Ernest Holmes. And I tell you what, this is just him talking in a whole book of what he's saying in this audio today. And Kathy, when I was telling her about that, she had something that she brought into the room. And this, Kathy,
Yep, it's the same book that Sandra's talking about, Your Invisible Power. But the cool thing is, I love it. On the front, it says imperfect. So it's an imperfect version of it, but it's also autographed by Dr. Ernest Holmes himself. It says, Sincerely yours, Ernest Holmes. And so it's just kind of fun, the treasures that we have here in the archives. And a lot of the photos that are here, we have the original ones, and they are framed and on our wall here. So that's
and so that's, that was exciting to see that as another proof of why the archives is so important is just to have that in our possession of seeing the original. Um, the thing that really made me stop and think, and there was just so much, and I think that that's what you're going to be listening to today, is that there's just so much said in just the basics. If we just if we're studying the basics, and that's what this is really talking about, is this a magnificent wisdom that we have within. I once heard that there's no gurus out there, but the only real guru is within ourselves. That's the wisdom that we can always go to, and that's what this conversation has talking about so much today. And he really does express how each one of us have a uniqueness, and we are of that one mind, that one heart, and that but what we bring to this consciousness is our gift. And that's what I love about this, is just the expression of how we each can look at sometimes what seems really simple to us because it's so easy for us, and that is our special gift that we have, and that we can, and it's our genius. And he calls it the genius in this recording. And so just knowing that there's, in all the different conditions that are going on in this world today, that there's always a spiritual answer to anything that we have in front of us. And so I love being reminded of that. So I think as we sit back and relax and enjoy the audio, we'll go from there. Does that sound okay?
Okay, here we go. Hold on a moment, please.
Say something.
Hold on. I'm
Have you got it?
I do have it, and here we go.
Okay.
By Ernest Holmes. If God is all there is, it follows that the spirit within us must be some part of the divine being. But this spiritual self is pretty much an unknown guest to all of us. Nothing is more important than that we should know ourselves. In search of this self-discovery, we naturally start with the physical body, and of course, we believe in giving the body every chance to be well and healthy. We believe in proper diet and in sane eating. We realize that we need rest and relaxation, and we accept the findings of modern medicine and surgery. But nowadays we are told that it is difficult to know just where the body leaves off and the mind begins. And many people are trying to discover just what the relationship between this elusive thing we call the mind is to this other nearly as elusive thing that we call the body. Psychosomatics, or body-mind relationships, is one of the new and expanding ideas in medicine. But there is still another field that remains pretty much unknown, and that is the relationship of the spirit within us to both the mind and the body. For while we have bodies and while we have minds, we also are spirits, and there is a spirit within us that uses both the mind and the body. I believe that everyone, in a sense, has a guardian angel, the angel of his better self, or the angel of the presence of God within him. There is, I think, at the very center of our mental and physical being, such a divine presence, intimately personal to each one of us, the real self, which is forever one with God. And our whole endeavor, whether or not we know it, is to find this real self. This divine presence within is a little different in each one of us, for life never reproduces itself. The resources of God are without limit. No things, people, or events are ever identical. If this were not true, life would be a monotony, and life is monotonous unless we find variations for self-expression. No, that isn't good. Go back. If this were not true, life would be a continual monotony, and life is monotonous unless we find variations of self-expression. Some days we want to sing and dance, and at other times we want to become quiet and meditative. At certain moments we want to pour out our whole soul in communion with the Spirit, and at other times we wish to be active and express our feelings in a creative way. It has been demonstrated that when we block these avenues of self-expression and creative living and inhibit their action through us, then we become emotionally congested. And I have no doubt, but if we spent as much time becoming acquainted with the spirit within us as we do denying its presence, we should discover a wholeness at the center of our being. I have no doubt but that if we were to completely surrender ourselves to this divine presence, everything would be all right in our lives. But if each one of us is an individual in God, and a person in his own right by divine decree, then there is no reason why we should pattern our lives after others. For while it is necessary that we live together in peace, in harmony, and in cooperation, It certainly is never necessary that we imitate others. This is the real secret of democracy, that countless numbers of persons learn how to live together while at the same time remaining themselves. We find no difficulty over this in nature, for the peach tree bears fruit beside the blooming rose, and the cactus on the desert has no controversy with the Joshua tree, nor does the lofty mountain feel the need of lowering its peaks because it is surrounded by valleys. Each has the right to live and express himself to the full, but each should and must reserve for himself that divinity which makes him one with God and one with man, while at the same time making each a little different from all the others. There is a place or a possibility in the life of every individual where, without interfering with anyone else, he may, he can, and he should expand to the fullness of the stature of the Son of the living God within him. It is wonderful to me, and indeed the most wonderful thing of all, to realize that there must be something at the center of my being which is the gift of heaven, which makes me just a little different from everyone else, which says to me, follow such genius or ability as you have, and follow it to the full. Don't be afraid of it. And so long as it does not interfere with anyone else, it is right. So long as it is constructive, it is good. So long as it abides in love, it cannot harm anyone. I wonder how many of us take time to become acquainted with this better self, this higher self, this inner self, this man of God whom you and I did not create. If a man were in business and found himself confused, afraid, and perhaps defeated, and you were to say to him, but there is something you have overlooked. You really have a silent partner. There really is an unknown guest, an invisible presence, a divine intelligence that knows how to do everything. There really is a guide that can take you by the hand, lead you down the pathway of the good road of life, which leads to success and happiness. Perhaps if you were to say this to one who is on the verge of defeat, it might astound him. He could hardly believe that such a thing is even possible. But if he should become interested, he might ask, how am I going to become better acquainted with this great big something within me that you tell me knows no defeat, this divine intelligence that you say can guide or lead or direct me into right decisions and right acts that will lead to success? How am I going to become acquainted with this inner presence which has no doubt? I have never yet met a person to whom I could not explain that there is such a presence. And I have never yet met a person who has rejected the idea. When people tell me of the infidels and agnostics and atheists and unbelievers, I merely laugh inside myself. For I know that we could say to such people who think that they don't believe in anything higher or bigger than they are, how do you suppose it is that you can eat ham sandwiches and apple pie and baked potatoes and have them turn into hair and fingernails and flesh and bone and blood? There already is a divine chemist within you who knows how to do all these things. It is simple thoughts like these that startle people into realizing that there really is more to a man, as Walt Whitman said, than is contained between his head and his bootstraps. There really is a spirit in man, and this spirit always is one with everything in the universe. This spirit is always a little different in every person. The only trouble with us when we become confused is that we have slipped our mooring somewhere. We have disconnected the thread of life that runs from the infinite to the finite, and in so doing we really have missed the boat. I have seen so many people reborn, remade and renewed in mind and body, just through taking a little time to get acquainted with the better self, that I know there is an invisible an almost unknown guest who accompanies everyone through life. What could be more amazing? What could be more wonderful than the thought that as isolated as I appear to be, as confused as we most certainly are a great deal of the time, there still is this invariable guide. There is still with us a divine intelligence that knows the answers. It is no wonder that it has been written that the wisdom of man is foolishness to God. You see, we have learned so much that is not true. And to you and to me, this means that perhaps we have to retrace our steps and start all over again. Just as we started as a babe in our mother's arms and gradually become adults, perhaps we will have to start as another kind of babe in the arms of the infinite intelligence and again grow up into a different kind of an adulthood. The world has failed to reach its goal. It has blasted itself on the rocks of fear and wrecked its life on the shores of unbelief. We do need a chart and a compass, a guide and a pilot, but not an external one, not someone else to tell us what to do or how we ought to do it or how we ought to live, not someone who wishes merely to impose his own will on ours or just impress us. This is the pathway that leads to nowhere, where the trail runs out and stops. We need an inner guide. And the miracle of it all is that we already have this inner guide. He has been there all the time, waiting. And so we would take time every day to form new habits of thought. We should take time to affirm the presence of the divine man, the whole man. This is something no one can do for us but ourselves. But the one who will take the time to affirm the presence of divine intelligence guiding him very soon will discover that those moments spent in meditative prayer are always followed by a betterment in his circumstances and in his physical body, as though some new life-giving force were being poured into them. And above everything else, he will find a peace and a sense of security without which no one can be happy or whole. Yes, there is a divine presence at the center of your being. There is a spirit in man, and to each one of us it comes fresh and new and wonderful every day, and more wonderful as the days pass by. This thing which is the gift of heaven and the decree of God. And so take time every day to say to yourself, peace is the power at the heart of God. I recognize this peace in which I live as closer to me than my very breath, nearer than my hands or feet. And there is a calm at the center of my being, and there is a calm at the center of everyone's being. There is a confidence and a joy at the center of all things. It is this peace, this joy, and this confidence that I meet in every person and in every situation. I bring peace to everything I contact, and I bring joy to everyone I meet, and my peace and joy makes their peace and joy full. There is a law of good governing my life that automatically draws me to people and to circumstances which make life full and complete and happy. This happiness I bring to others, and this happiness I receive from them. It is my desire that everything I do, everything I say and think shall bless everyone, and shall bless everything I contact. And even as I desire this blessing for others, I receive it back again into my own being. And I know that there is that within me, which heals every situation it contacts, helps every person it meets, brings love and goodwill and friendship, and a sense of joy and peace and power unto everything that I do. And under that presence, which knows all things, and that power which can do all things, be glory and honor, dominion and power, both now and forevermore.
Whew. Wow. I tell you what, he said a lot in a short period of time, didn't he? It's just such an amazing time when you are able to just understand the depth and the magnificence of this awareness of being one. And so I think as we go into our rooms and connect and just what was most impressive to you and what impacted you the most during this talk. But also, I would like to hear maybe you speak into the room what your genius is, what your personal genius is. I'd like to really hear what you bring to the planet. So, Martha, let's see, we've got how many people here? 17.
We have 17. I'm doing 4 breakout rooms. And
Sure.
how long would you like people to discuss?
I think if we have 15 minutes, don't you think that's about right?
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good. All right, here we go.
Oh, I thought we were all done.
Oh, not quite yet.
Come on back.
Is
There's some
everybody
big-
supposed to be coming back? I just saw it and clicked on it.
They are. They're all coming
Yes.
back now.
Oh, there they all are.
Yeah. Are we all back?
I think everyone that's coming back. Yes.
Here they come.
Okay. Welcome back.
Hi.
My guess is you had a lively conversation. So, is there anyone that would like to start the conversation of what kind of insights or impressions that you had?
And if you would, please use the hand at the bottom where it says raise hand. That way I can see you more quickly. Thank you.
Anyone in particular like to start the conversation? Okay, Annette.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Well, I love listening to Ernest Holmes, especially in his voice. It's
Mm,
for me. I'm 61 and I'm grateful I'm healthy and not in any pain and don't have any health issues. But I am overweight and I would like to lose some weight. And I guess that's why I pick up on things like this. It cracked me up. I laughed when he said, "We believe we believe in sane eating," because I thought, yeah, it is such common sense, isn't it?
yeah.
Sane eating. And for me, that meant, the amount, you know, maybe not so much what you eat, but the amount. You can have a little bit of ice cream, just not a gallon of it, sane eating. Yeah. So that's something that I thought, yeah, if you just to your body,
Yeah.
listen to your body's signals about when you're hungry and when you're full. Common sense, right?
Yeah.
Sane.
That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Just to know that you can go inside and say, okay, so, I'm feeling like I need something. So what is it that I really need? I know.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes. And
absolutely.
how much,
And how much?
when to stop. Don't overeat or undereat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's no question that we can't ask that we can't get an answer to. So absolutely. Anyone else? Jim, you had oh, you're muted still, Jim. There you go.
You know, when you encounter an atheist, um, Ernest has one of the best and the oldest. You know, he takes a ham sandwich and an apple or whatever, and what kind of a chemistry? Can you imagine if you fill the blackboard up with the equations of the chemistry going on inside your body? And you know, how'd this come about? I mean, you know, who invented that? You know, how's that
Mhm.
work? I mean, I love arguments against atheists because you know, it's so hard to be an atheist these days. I mean, you got astrophysicists now that are looking at Big Bang and they're saying, you know, there had to be an intelligence or this thing couldn't have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at Mother Teresa and she says, hey, do you love anything? Tell me what you love. And they tell you what they love. And she says, well, you know, God is love. And I mean, there are so many ways to, you know, atheists just don't have a chance. You almost have to feel sorry for them. So, yeah, anyway, that's all I had to say.
That's a good insight. Anyone else? You know, Martha, actually, I wrote something Martha said. She said that necessity collapse into form. Martha, can you just express that a little bit more for us?
Thank you. I was actually during our talk today, I was talking about the fact that Holmes says that spirit of necessity must collapse into form. And I was thinking about how it doesn't collapse into just any form, but it collapses into form. So in my case, my spirit collapses into this body to meet certain conditions. And it did that for a long, long time, and for certain conditions for a long time. But when those conditions change, that's that moment of disconcerting, you know, like there's angst or something's disconcerting or that sort of thing, because now spirit has to collapse into form to meet a new set of conditions. Because plan or I'm, you know, learning something new, but it's to meet a new condition. So,
Mhm.
so anyway, so spirit must collapse of necessity into form. So that's what I've been thinking about. And I see that Valerie has a question as well. Thank you,
Yes.
Sandra.
More so an observation. Yeah, what I liked about it was a reminder that we're all in this life together on this planet, and like the peach tree can grow next to the rose bush with its prickly little thorns. Both are beautiful in their own right. You know,
Mm-hmm.
one produces a flower, one produces a fruit. Mountains and the valleys. You know, the mountains aren't just saying it's all about me. There's some valley lows in there too, and the valley is pretty cool as well. You know, so it just reminded me of you know the statement, you know, for the humans, you know, we're all humans, we're all spiritual beings having a human experience, and each one is unique. And even, you know, identical twins, if you will, are totally unique. You know, and
Yeah.
where he said, no things are exactly the same, even though to the naked eye or the eye we could experience as the same, but they're not. So the uniqueness in every form, no matter what it is. So those things kind of stuck out for me. Thank you.
Yeah. And just seeing the genius in every single person that we meet. Absolutely. Linda, did you have? No? Okay. So anything else?
Gisela says that she can unmute herself and she has been able to get her video started, but wants to thank everyone for a wonderful experience at the get together. And she would definitely like to attend again next month, and I hope you do. You are always welcome to attend. Thank you.
Yes, it's the third Thursday of every month at noon Mountain Time. So same channel, same Zoom. We'd love to have you. Thank you.
Well, we have a few minutes. I would love for Kathy to talk about, give us kind of an update on what's going on with the archives and also what's going on with her.
Yeah.
I think it's because we won't be seeing her again next month for very good reason. So, Kathy.
Oh, howdy. Well, howdy. And if anyone doesn't know, I'm executive director of the Science Mind Archives. And I just had my 10th anniversary of being executive director here. So I just think
Yay.
that's pretty darn cool. So what a blessing and gift it has been to be here. And so we're, folks didn't know, we just moved. We moved from Golden, Colorado to Unity Village, Missouri. And we moved the archives, and I also moved. So my beloved, my fiance and I moved, and we're getting married next month. And so that's why I won't be here. And so I'll be getting ready the last minute plans and stuff, because we get married on the International Day of Peace, September 21st, right around our
Yeah.
Peace Bowl. And
So appropriate.
yeah, thank you. And as I shared before, I actually was very honored to be on the CSL Global Themes Committee, and I wrote the themes for September, all about peace, from pieces into peace. So if you like Ernest Holmes and you like peace, take a look at the CSL Global themes next month, and take a look at them. They're just, I love Dr. Holmes. He's all about peace. So. And we did my ordination from pieces into peace, and that turned into the theme for the global theme. So like when things seem like they're in pieces, you can come together into oneness and peace. So I'm going to show you for fun our Facebook page, because there's some really wonderful things happening at the archives. And for people who do Facebook, we do try to keep it really current. And like we're coming up to a town hall meeting a week from today. And it'll be an hour earlier, though. It'll be 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And we're going to have, it's free, complimentary. There's a Zoom link, and you get to experience. We're going to do a walking tour of our new home at Unity Village. We have a grand opening celebration coming up in April, and so much more. And so, again, our Facebook page is a great way to stay up to date, like a reminder of our Lunch and Learn today. So again, the third Thursday of every month, mark your calendars. They're just always delightful. Everyone gets like a gift, I feel, by attending these. And I think someone pointed out the Ernest Holmes that Martha has. And so we have these lovely cutouts of Ernest Holmes that people can get from our website. And Ernest Holmes is literally going around the world. There's Dr. Deborah Gordon in Kelowna, British Columbia. And there's our friend, Dr. Robert Brzezinski, and oh my gosh, and Blanca and Peggy, and they're all at Lake Chapala, Mexico. Ernest made it to Mexico, and he's going to be in Norway. So if you want to keep an eye out on the fun we're having with Dr. Holmes, just check out our Facebook page. And I'm going to take you over to our website, sciencemindarchives.com. And we do have a fundraising goal to help us with our move. And so we're so grateful. We are over 80% of the way there. And so if it's in anyone's heart to support our relocation to this beautiful space at Unity Village, we would love your energy and love and support. And this is a picture of Ernest with his bags from our move. And we've hung out, we have this beautiful portrait that we received from the home office. We've put up library shelves, and our 10,000 books are getting all organized and ready for others to explore the wisdom of science and mind. And we have our new products on our website. And what I want to get down to is our cutouts. And so that cutout of Ernest Holmes is a little fundraiser for us. And you can get the 1 foot, the 2 foot, or a 5 foot, which is pretty much life size, as Jim Van Cleve likes to point out, because he was about 5'3", And so it's pretty darn close and to have, and you just, all you gotta do is just click, and then all of a sudden you're transported magically to a page. Where you can buy either one of them. And all the funds support our operations of the website and or of the archives and what we're doing here. So again, I just really encourage people to check out the website. There's always new things, and it's always a beautiful place. And if you're not already, I encourage you to sign up for our e-newsletter. We just put out a couple times a month. It's a great way to keep in the know. We do reminders for the Lunch and Learn with the links and more. And so there's my short version, but thank you for being here. Yes, Annette.
Thank you for showing us that too. So next time.
Annette has a question real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just have a quick question. I was wondering, because you mentioned moving to Unity Village. I was wondering, has there been like a, I don't know what the right word would be, like a joining of Unity and CSL?
What a great question. Thank you for bringing that up. We are just leasing space. You know, CSL Home Office is selling or sold their building, and we were housed out of it for 14 years, and we had our 100-year history in that building. We needed to move it somewhere. They're going virtual, but we really can't. And so we looked all over Metro Denver, and then we spoke with our friends at Unity Village, because we do work collaboratively with their archive. They have a Unity Archives, and get this, we found out that INTA, International New Thought Alliance Archives, just voted to move here as well. And so it's just going to be kind of a mecca of archives. We're uniquely Science of Mind, they're uniquely Unity, but we're all New Thought. And so that's it. They're just friends, and we get to have slumber parties now because we're over here.
Jim had
I just wanted to say also in that, in case everybody didn't know, the Archives is a separate 501c3 organization. We are not a department of CSL. We work with CSL, but we're our own fundraisers, and that's what we do. The second thing is, there's a warning if you get the 5-foot Ernest Holmes. For some reason, he gets lipstick all over his face. Thank you.
Very carefully take it off.
And Kathy, did you want to talk at all about the grand opening, or you want to leave that for another time?
I see Martha unmuted.
Wait,
And Jim is raising.
Jim has a question. Here comes Jim. Oh, Jim left? Oh, he must have been waving goodbye.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, okay. So he came in just in time to wave goodbye.
Giselle?
She's here, but she's
muted. Can you unmute twice maybe?
Yeah, try, and doesn't the space bar work? Isn't that a new thing that Zoom?
There we go.
You did it.
Okay.
Yay, good job.
I just wanted to say a special thank you to my friends Emily and Jim. They invited me to this lunch and learn experience, and I'm so grateful to be with all of you this morning. And I just want to express my gratitude again.
We are so glad you're here. Thank you.
And for people who may not know, Jim Van Cleve is our board president of the Science Mind Archives and Library Foundation, and he started just before me, so he had his 10-year anniversary as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. Congratulations.
Well, and we are getting ready for our grand opening, and so again, if
Emily
you signed up for our email lists, we're going to be sending it out. It's going to be in April of 2025, April 24th through the 27th. And it's going to be here at Unity Village. So there's going to be tours. We're going to have a town hall meeting, and you get to check it all out. It's just going to be it's just a celebration. We're doing ribbon cutting, but also we're going to do a special blessing ceremony of our new space. We did, I call it our ABC ceremony back in October, our appreciation blessing ceremony, where we filled this with essence of our old location that we brought to our new one. And so we're going to do a very special sacred blessing of our new space. And so we would love for you to be there and to join us.
I think Emily had something to say.
Well, I just wanted to mention that last month, when Kathy was showing the archives and how you can listen to speakers or listen to Ernest Holmes, she also showed Reverend Tom Sanner, and I shared that with Gisela. So I wanted to share that with all of you. I know many of you knew him.
Thank you, Kathy.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Thank
we have a very wonderful YouTube channel, and we have wise sage interviews. And Dr. Tom was one of the, oh my gosh, so special wise sage interviews. And so we very wanted to share that with everyone. So I can put our YouTube link in the chat for people to check it out.
Oh,
And
thank
I think
you.
the interviews are lovely, but at the very end, Dr. Marilyn asked most everyone, so what words of wisdom would you like to share? You know, what would you like the world to know? So you got to listen to the end of those interviews and hear what Dr. Tom shared.
Thank you.
The archives just gets better and better. Okay, anyone else? We want to thank you all for being here. The next meeting will be, or the next Lunch and Learn will be on the 19th. And so we hope that you can all join at that time. And of course, we'll be sending out a note of and letting you know. And you can always just go on to the website and get the link there. Anything else? We wish you well and thank you all for being here. We loved having you here, loved having your presence, and you're very special to each and every one of us. Blessings.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Blessings.
Thanks. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
You.
Bye. Bye.